I'm in Egypt right now, if you couldn't tell, and I've had a last-minute change of plans. I've been invited to a party in London, so I'm going to fly back with EgyptAir, and then I'm coming back here to fly my original outbound flight with Air Cairo. So I thought to myself, why not make a video comparing Egypt's largest two airlines? Let's head to the airport. Getting so sick of this. I've been in 5 Ubers now where I get in and after a few minutes of driving they're asking for $40, $50 cash payment on top of the Uber price. I keep having to cancel, get out, cancel, get out. Oh. Alright, I don't know what to do. Alright, I'm gonna try to figure something out. What a nightmare. Alright, it took me a while, but I finally got in a good taxi. I ended up just walking back to my hotel and booking one directly there. But anyway, back to the video. Some of you might be thinking, is it really fair to compare a full-service carrier to a low-cost airline or a wide-body to a narrow-body? And of course, on paper, I'm expecting EgyptAir to be better. But on the routes they share in common, EgyptAir can be 2, 3, sometimes even 4 times the price. So the real question is it really worth that premium? Let's find out. I'm here outside Cairo Terminal 3, which is mainly where EgyptAir operates from. Let's get inside and get checked in. It's my first time ever flying with EgyptAir. It's also my first time in Egypt, so let's start things off with the flag carrier. And honestly, I've never seen massive queues like this at an airport to go through check-in, so I'm gonna get started and hopefully it doesn't take too long.
Even Fast Track had massive queues to get in.
Finally made it through that security line. That was about 1 hour, and that was just the security line to get to the check-in counters, and then after this there's going to be another security line to get airside. Man, this is crazy.
There was a bit of a queue for check-in, but thankfully I didn't have any bags and I already had my mobile boarding pass. It's also the first time I've ever had to fill out a departure card to leave the country. I've only ever seen arrival cards before. Does any other country do this? As you'd expect, there's your standard duty-free, restaurants, fast food, and a bar, but you know me, I'm heading straight to the lounge. The lounge has a basic food buffet with hot options, salads, and cakes. Drinks-wise, it's just coffee and soft drinks, so I'm grabbing a water and adding an X to the scoreboard. This airport uses gate security, so there was one last queue and check before getting into the gate holding area.
I finally made it to the gate after so many queues and security checks. But now, before I get on board, let me tell you a bit more about EgyptAir's history.
EgyptAir is one of the world's oldest airlines, the 7th to ever exist actually, and the oldest in Africa. It was founded in 1932 as Misr Airwork before multiple rebrandings and restructurings over the years until it eventually became EgyptAir in 1971. It currently has a fleet of 67 aircraft that flies to over 100 destinations around the world.
Alright, boarding's just been announced. Let's go before I have to queue some more.
Here's a look at the 6-year-old 787-9 we're flying on today. I can't believe I got a last-minute equipment swap today. They usually fly the 777 on this route with flight number 777. That's a missed opportunity right there.
Alright, so I just got settled into my seat, 48K in the back cabin. The seats haven't been set up properly, like some seats have blankets, some seats have pillows, some seats don't. It seems a bit random, like it's just been thrown there. My screen and seat back's got like food splash all over it. Some of the buttons are looking all grubby. Cabin's not in the best state, let's put it that way. But anyway, I'll wait for everyone to finish boarding, let's get in the air and see what the service is like.
The seat itself was comfortable enough though, with an adjustable headrest, a small pillow, if you were lucky enough to get one on your seat, which I did, and a blanket, which I wasn't lucky enough to get. But here's my seat neighbor's one. The seat recline was pretty good, legroom was decent, and you even got a footrest, which you don't often see in economy. But surprisingly, for an airline based in the desert, there were no air nozzles whatsoever, a common but annoying choice on many 787s. Now, boarding is complete, let's get in the sky. Straight after takeoff, the crew didn't wait a second to force dim the Dreamliner windows, which I always find annoying when airlines do this on daytime flights, but at least you can manually override it. Not even 20 minutes after takeoff, the crew were already handing out what I thought would be the meal service, but instead was just a mango juice with pretzels. Then the cabin was dimmed, and I was surprised there didn't seem to be any hint of a proper meal service. Eventually though, after over 2 hours from takeoff, the crew came down the aisle with the trolley for the proper meal service. The timing seemed strange to me, and the crew had to wake people up that had started sleeping. If it was me, I'd serve the meal as soon as possible.
Alright, so I've just finished the meal service and I've got a bit of a mixed review. The starter was just this little salad. It did taste a bit plasticky though, I'm not sure what that was about. The main course I thought was very mid. It reminded me a bit of school canteen food. It had a bit of a weird aftertaste. It wasn't horrible, like it was fine, but you know, nothing more. And the dessert was the highlight. That little chocolate cake with the Malteser on top, the best part of the meal. They didn't have any diet colas, so I stuck with some water, and there was a bit of bread and cheese, which was fine. So yeah, overall kind of average meal, I guess. Nothing to sing home about. And let me know in the comments if any of you have flown on EgyptAir and what you thought, especially what you thought of the meal service. I'd be interested to hear. Toilet review time. It's a pretty standard toilet. It's nice having the extra space that being on a wide-body jet affords you. There's a bit of mess on the floor, random cups, papers, but apart from that, not much to add.
Back at my seat, I had a few hours to kill, so I checked out the IFE system, which had a good enough selection of content, Hollywood, Arabic cinema, TV shows, and apparently live TV, but it wasn't working on this flight. It's definitely worth checking out the worth watching category. There's a few movie classics in there. There's an international power socket under the seat in front to charge your devices, and you can connect to the in-flight Wi-Fi, which has free messaging, which is very nice to have. But then the only actual data plan was $25 for 300 megabytes, which is just beyond ridiculous. And just like that, it wasn't long before the grey, foggy skies of London greeted me, and we started our descent into the familiar sight of BA aircraft at London Heathrow.
Also my first time flying with Air Cairo today. They operate out of Terminal 1 here, which is the oldest terminal at the airport. Now let's get inside and hope the queues aren't as bad here today.
Well, I'd say it's a good start. There's all of this queuing infrastructure and no queues in sight.
Well, I can say I'm already a fan of Terminal 1. Despite how much older it looks, it only took about 10 minutes to get through the security queues, so definitely wins in this regard. Let's get through, I think, the next security now. I'd already checked in online, but you still need to queue up to check in here to get your departure cards to get through passport control. So for my flight, the queue's not so bad, but some of the other Air Cairo flights, the queues are super long, so be careful depending on which flight you're on.
The first thing that really surprised me is how much nicer Terminal 1 seems to be compared to the much newer Terminal 3, which is home to the flag carrier. It was a lot quieter here with much higher ceilings and loads of natural light and great views of the aircraft. It's the complete opposite of T3. Now, how about the lounge? It's the same lounge operator as the one we saw earlier, so the food spread and drinks were exactly the same, but the space is so much larger with plenty more seating options. It's gonna have to be another X on the scoreboard for me today, but there is one thing you can do here I've never seen anywhere else in the world. You can smoke inside the lounge here. I'm not talking about a terrace or a ventilated room. There are literally ashtrays out and people smoking indoors. Time to head to the gate. I'm flying to Milan today, which is Air Cairo's second longest flight from Cairo Airport at 4 hours. just a touch shorter than my 5-hour flight to London.
Boarding's just starting behind me, so let me quickly tell you about Air Cairo.
Air Cairo was founded in 2003 as a low-cost carrier, and they're actually majority owned by EgyptAir. They've experienced rapid growth in the last few years, growing their fleet to 37 aircraft and flying to over 50 destinations across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa.
Alright, let's get on board, and I already see it's a bus gate.
Here's the 2-year-old A320neo I'll be flying on today.
I've just made it into my seat 9A, and immediately you can notice straight away how much harder the seat back feels. So EgyptAir will definitely win on comfort, although on the good side of things, I think I might have bagged myself a row to myself. There's not too many people left aboard, so let's see, and then let's get in the sky.
There's not much to say about this seat. It's a classic slimline seat you find on a lot of low-cost carriers. The legroom's at 28 inches, which is on the very low end, and you do get a very, very minimal recline. Boarding is complete, and I'm sad to announce that the very last 2 passengers on board were sitting right next to me. Let's taxi to the runway and see what Air Cairo is all about. The service was pretty slow to get moving, with the trolley service starting an hour after takeoff. All passengers get a meal box, which is nice to see on a budget airline, although it's one of the driest meals I've had in recent times. It comes with 2 sandwiches, one with some slabs of cheese, and the other with some pieces of dry chicken. I took the cheese from the first one and put it into the chicken sandwich because 2 pieces of dry bread rolls was too much for me. And anyway, I had pre-ordered a chicken meal online, so I've got a whole other box meal to myself. First of all, this has got to be the largest meal portion I've ever had on a plane. Only problem though, the food was ice cold. Seems like the crew forgot to heat it up at all. Not a problem though, I asked them to heat it, which they kindly did, and once it came back, it was actually a really good meal. And again, I can't overstate how big the portion was.
Alright, I'm back in the toilets, I'm in the back of the plane. One of them's out of service, this one's in service, but the door lock is barely holding on. There's some broken things here, and it's pretty small. But yeah, apart from that, I'm just going to go ahead and use it and head back to the seat.
Back at my seat, like a true budget airline, there's no Wi-Fi or any other in-flight amenities like charging or entertainment. And that's pretty much it for Air Cairo. A couple hours later, we started our descent into Milan, and my Egyptian adventure had come to a conclusion. So, which of Egypt's largest 2 airlines would I recommend? For long haul, you have no choice but EgyptAir, so that's decided for you. For the shorter regional flights, I would go with Air Cairo. The price is usually cheaper than EgyptAir on the same routes. I found Terminal 1 to be a much more pleasant experience despite the bus gates, and I thought the pre-ordered meal was much more substantial. Now you are sacrificing comfort. The seats will be better, even on EgyptAir's A320 fleet, but for the cash saving, I'm picking Air Cairo every time. Let me know if you've flown either airline before and what your experience was like. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, till next time.